The Nets take on the Raptors, 3:30 p.m. East. Brooklyn's -3.5, totals 209. We're 9-3 in our last 12 NFL tier package picks on BrockPage.com. And the good news is we have 3 more premium NFL tier package picks going off here today on that website. We're also 3-0 in our last 3 $1.99 daily best plays on that very same webpage. And if you want to access today's $1.99 daily best play, it's only going to cost you just $1.99. We currently have over 795 members who are signed up and active on that site. And if you want to see which one of these free YouTube picks on my channel that I'm actually betting on personally, there's only one way to do that, and that's to sign up for a membership on my website at BrockPage.com. Despite their 4-game winning streak, the Nets really haven't done a great job covering the point spread lately. They failed to cover in 3 out of their last 5 ball games. Brooklyn's also failed to cover in 2 out of their last 3 road games. Now, the Nets have had issues rebounding the basketball. They're in the bottom 10 in defensive rebounding. Brooklyn's also in the bottom 5 in first quarter points allowed on the road. They're taking on a Toronto team who won 5 out of their last 6. And they should have Pascal Siakam back in the lineup here today. The Raptors have been one of the better rebounding teams in the association. They're currently in the top 10 in offensive rebounding, top 3 in defensive rebounding as well. Scotty Barnes is averaging just about 9 boards per contest, 17 points a game, and a couple assists for Barnes. And speaking of points, OG Anunoby's averaging over 20.5 points a night, along with 5 boards, 2 assists. Now, defensively, the Raptors are giving up just 100 points a game. 3 out of Toronto's last 4 fell under the number. Brooklyn's 8-1 to the under overall for this season. I'm going to lean toward Toronto plus 3.5, under 209. Next matchup, Pacers, Kings, 6 o'clock East. Sacramento's -1.5, totals 223. The Kings are on a 2-game winning streak, 5-1 against the spread in their last 6. Sacramento's in the top 3 in scoring on average per game. Harrison Barnes is scoring over 22 points a game, 9 rebounds, couple assists for Barnes. Harrison's also drilling 46% of his three-pointers. Meanwhile, De'Aaron Fox is scoring 18 points a night himself, 4 rebounds, 6 assists for Fox. Now, defensively, the Kings are in the top 3 in home defensive rebounding. They're taking on a Pacers team who lost 5 out of their last 7. And they may have to go to work without Jeremy Lamb and Malcolm Brogdon. Both players are listed as questionable. Now, Warren and Jackson are both still out. The Pacers are in the bottom 3 in points allowed per contest on the road. They're also letting their opponents make over 42% of their three-pointers in that very same category. 3 out of Indiana's last 5 road games got over the number. 3 out of Sacramento's last 5 got over the line themselves. I'm going to lean toward the Kings -1.5, over 223. Next game, Jazz Magic, 6 o'clock Eastern tip-off. Utah's -12.5, totals 212. Utah's won 7 of 9 to start off this season. 67% against the number in those ball games. Utah gives up only 101 points a game when traveling, and they're holding their opponents to just 27% shooting from beyond the arc in that same category. Rudy Gobert is grabbing 13 defensive rebounds per contest, 16 total rebounds per game. When it comes to the scoring, Donovan Mitchell is averaging 26 points a game along with 4 rebounds, 5 assists. Utah is one of the better rebounding teams in the NBA. They're in the top 5 in offensive rebounding, top 3 in defensive rebounding as well. They're taking on a 2-8 Magic team who's lost all of their games at the Amway Center. As a matter of fact, Orlando failed to cover the point spread in all 4 of their home losses. The Magic's dead last in the NBA in home scoring. They're also in the bottom 3 in home offensive rebounding. Moore and Carter Williams are still out. Brazdakis and Anthony are questionable. Orlando saw their last 3 straight fall under the line. Utah saw 4 out of their last 6 fall under the total themselves. I'm going to lean toward Utah minus 12.5, under 212. Next game, Bucks, Wizards, 6 o'clock Eastern start time. Milwaukee's minus 2, totals 220. Now, 8 out of Milwaukee's last 10 meetings with Washington got over the total. As a matter of fact, Milwaukee's last 5 meetings with Washington at the Capital One Arena got over the line as well. Meanwhile, 3 out of the Wizards' last 5 outings got over the posted number themselves. And when it comes to picking a winner in this one, this game is being featured as my extra daily pick on BrockPage.com. So if you want to see whether I think Milwaukee or Washington is going to cover this very small number, there's only one way to do that, and that's to sign up for my extra daily pick on BrockPage.com for just $2.99. But when it comes to the free pick in this one, I'm going to go ahead and lean toward the over 220 in that ball game. Next matchup, Cavaliers, Knicks, 6 o'clock East. New York's minus 8, totals 208. The Knicks failed to cover in 3 out of their last 4 ball games. Bottom 3 in the league in points allowed per contest at home. The Knicks are also in the bottom 5 in home defensive rebounding. They're taking on a Cleveland squad who won their last 3 straight. And they also went 7-1 against the number in their last 8. The Cavs are giving up just 103 points per contest on the road. Jared Allen's averaging over 8 defensive rebounds a game, 11 total boards per contest as well. And when it comes to the scoring, Colin Sexton and Darius Garland are both averaging over 15 points a game. And speaking of scoring, Cleveland's in the top 3 in first quarter scoring on the road. Now, injury-wise, Love, Markkanen, and Okoro, they're both listed as out. But when it comes to the total in this one, 6 out of these teams' last 10 meetings got over the number. Meanwhile, 3 out of the Knicks' last 4 games at MSG got over the total themselves. I'm going to lean toward Cleveland plus 8 over 208. Next matchup, Spurs, Thunder, 7 o'clock East. San Antonio's minus 4, numbers 212. San Antonio successfully covered the point spread in 4 out of their last 5. Just 103 points per contest they're giving up on the road. DeJounte Murray's averaging over 2 steals a game defensively. He's also getting 18 points a night along with 8 boards, 8 assists. Meanwhile, Keldon Johnson scoring over 15.5 points a game himself. 5 boards, couple assists for Keldon. San Antonio is in the top 5 in fourth quarter scoring on the road. They're taking on a 2-6 OKC club who's in the bottom 3 in the NBA in offensive field goal percentage. The Thunder scoring just 98 points a game, and they're shooting only 41% from the field. Now, OKC is also making just 30% of their three-pointers. When it comes to the total, OKC saw 2 out of their last 3 at the Paycom Center get over the line. Meanwhile, 2 out of the Spurs' last 3 got over the total themselves. I'm going to lean towards San Antonio minus 4 over 212. Next ball game, Rockets, Warriors, 8:30 East. Golden State's minus 13, totals 219. The Warriors are on a 3-game winning streak, 7-1 straight up overall for the season. The Warriors lead the NBA in defensive field goal percentage at home. They're also holding their opponents to just 95 points per contest at the Chase Center. Now, scoring-wise, Steph Curry is getting nearly 26 points a game, along with 7 rebounds, 6 assists. Meanwhile, Jordan Poole scoring over 17.5 points a night himself. A couple of boards, 3 assists for Poole. Golden State currently leads the NBA in home offensive rebounding. They're also in the top 3 in home offensive three-point percentage. They're taking on a 1-8 Houston club who's winless in 6 games on the road. The Rockets are scoring just 103 points a game, and they're making a pitiful 65% of their free throws on the road. Now, injury-wise, Daniel House is questionable for Houston. Meanwhile, for Golden State, Iguodala is out for today's game. Golden State's 5-0 to the under at home, 7-1 to the under for the whole year. Meanwhile, the Rockets are 7-2 to the under for the whole season themselves. I'm going to lean toward Golden State minus 13, under 219. Next and final matchup, Hornets, Clippers, 9 o'clock Eastern start time. The LA Clippers are minus 5.5, totals 223. LA's on a 3-game winning streak. Serge Ibaka expected back in the lineup. LA's currently allowing just 98 points a game at the Staples Center. And they're holding their opponents to just 28% shooting from three land at the Staples Center. Paul George is averaging 3 big steals a game. He's also second in the association in points with over 27.5 points a game. And speaking of scoring, Reggie Jackson's averaging over 16.5 points a game himself. 3 rebounds, 4 assists for the guard. LA's in the top 3 in the NBA in third quarter scoring. They're taking on a Charlotte club who's on a 3-game losing streak and failed to cover the point spread in 4 out of their last 5. Charlotte allows more points per contest than any other team in basketball, and they're also in the bottom 3 in defensive field goal percentage. Now, injury-wise, Plumlee is questionable. Washington is out. Meanwhile, for Los Angeles, Morris and Preston are out for them. 3 out of LA's last 4 home games fell under the total, 6-2 to the under for the entire season. Meanwhile, Charlotte saw 7 out of their last 10 meetings with the Clippers fall under the total themselves. I'm going to lean toward the LA Clippers minus 5.5, under 223. And with that, guys, now it's time for our quick pick recap. Powered to you by my website at brockpage.com, where we are 9-3 in our last 12 NFL tier package picks. I like Toronto plus 3.5, under 209. Sacramento minus 1.5, over 223. Utah minus 12.5, under 212. I also like the over 220 in the Bucks-Wizards game. Give me Cleveland plus 8, over 208. San Antonio minus 4, over 212. Golden State minus 13, under 219. Before I give you my next and final free pick for the video, one final reminder that we are 9-3 in our last 12 NFL tier package picks on brockpage.com. We're also 3-0 in our last 3 $1.99 daily best plays on that very same website. I'm going to lean toward the LA Clippers minus 5.5, under 223. And with that, guys, now it's time for our shout out of the day. And that's going to go to Luis Mario Dominguez Leon, who said yesterday, "Thanks for the information." All right, guys, that's going to do it for me. Don't forget to check me out on brockpage.com. Now, if you guys do end up getting a membership here today on that website, just keep in mind, you're going to get billed the day you sign up and then the first of every month following that. So if you do end up getting a membership here today on brockpage.com, you're going to get access to those picks all the way through the end of November. I always tell folks in every single video, the earlier in the month you sign up, the better. But most importantly, guys, gotta thank you for joining me right here on YouTube. I really hope you enjoyed all this great free content, all this great free information. And with that said, guys, happy Sunday to you. Best of luck to you. And I look forward to seeing you later on today on my website at brockpage.com.